Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Yo, what's good? We're back with episode number 5 of Absolute Hysteria. We have a special one for y'all tonight. We have a completely special episode. It's going to be off the regular format of the show. We have some awesome guests tonight. First of all, I'm going to bring in my co-host. We got two people with me tonight. And next two gentlemen I'm going to bring up are the director and one of the main characters from the up-and-coming, highly anticipated Juggalo-based film Off Ramp. First of all, we're going to bring up the director himself, Mr. Nathan Tate.
What's up, y'all? Whoop, whoop.
Second, we're going to bring up the man himself, Mr. Trey, Mr. Jon.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
So, yeah, man, we're here to talk about an amazing film. Absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
I don't know what, like, it's such a loss for words. There's so much to say about this movie without giving anything away. I won't give out any spoilers, of course, but beautifully done, beautifully shot, beautifully directed. The acting was completely on par. Trey Silas, absolutely nail on the head, man. Like Juggalo culture at its finest, you know. I've been a proud supporter in Juggalo since 1998, and you absolutely hit the essence of the old school culture, like to a T. You know, it's beautiful.
Very happy.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you. I often tell people I'm way more nervous when Juggalos watch the movie than when normies watch it, because like if Juggalos like it, then I'm like, okay, good, we did it. We feel good. You know what I mean?
I went into it. I had open mind. I was fully prepared to be critical on you. Like I was gonna, if it wasn't up to par, I was gonna let you know. Like that's one thing that people respect about me is like there's no half-assing about it. And man, y'all pulled me in. You know, the first, I'm gonna say 10-15 minutes. As soon as you introduce Trey. And you know can't talk too much into it, but the whole first 10-minute scene, man, like, you know, you just kind of pulled me in right then, and then it just kept getting better and better. You know,
you probably know a lot of people that had 10 minutes like that.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah,
that's what we were actually talking about earlier before we come on. You know, the whole stigma, you guys hit the whole stigma on the head about the stereotypes and stuff. Like I'm one of those that have been affected by that. You know, I was involved in some legal things and I was put in the gang database because of my tattoos and my music affiliation and stuff like that. With me being an artist, I was put in, you know, the gang database as Juggalo as a gang,
which is some bullshit. And
Yep.
You know, again, that's one of the things we were talking about before. And you know, it's something that we feel a lot of pride in being able to expose people to, because, you know, a lot of people may not know that. You know, a lot of people in the world, I mean, a lot of people don't even know who Juggalos are. Like, to be quite honest with you, like there's a lot of, you know, just making this film, talking to like my family's friends and stuff. They're like, well, you're making a film, what's it about? And we're like, well, is about juggalos, and then you have to explain juggalos, and then just say that like, well, okay, somebody just because of a, you know, they like a type of music and they wear a certain type of clothes can, you know, get put into a gang database and have, you know, the thing is just absurd, and it just highlights the like absurdity of what's kind of going, you know, just how this country is, how absurd it can be.
Can I speak on the grocery store scene?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, other than those three little things that we were talking about before, we can basically talk about anything.
So Trey's scene in the grocery store when he went to get the Juggalo juice, aka Fago. The conversation with the old man gave me deja vu so much, because I had this almost exact conversation with an older gentleman, and you know, he asked me, he's like, what's that gigolo stuff that everybody's talking about? I'm like, no, it's Juggalo. And he's like, yeah, you know, the guys that, you know, the male prostitutes, the gigolos. I'm like, no, it's Juggalo. He's like, well,
I'm pretty sure when I told people I have a Juggalo movie coming out, they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, not what you're thinking, you know. Like, oh yeah, that's Juggalo, right?
Did you and Rob Schneider do another movie? But yeah, that scene made me laugh so much the first time I seen it, because I'm like, man, I know that feeling. Like, that's totally happened before.
That scene's is a great one. Dave Jensen, who plays the gas station attendant, he's really awesome. He's been in a lot of like Soderbergh movies and stuff, and is a good friend of mine. And he and John just play so well together. The way that John's so or Trey is so flippant, and he's so serious, especially about like the clowns, is some of my favorite stuff in the movie. You know, one of my favorite joke bits is whenever Dave Jensen says, I loathe clowns. It makes me laugh every time.
Oh yeah, great line. that whole segment, you know, the whole painted faces thing, man, that was just. Yep. And I told him, I'm like, man, that's my favorite line of the whole movie. Like, when he said that, I'm like, you damn straight. Like, real shit.
That was a fun day, man. He is the real deal. That was great.
Yeah.
My music group, we don't do the black and white regular paint. We do what's called, it's a one of a kind. It's called invisible blacklight paint.
Oh, cool.
So like I could be wearing it right now and you would never see it, but you hit a black light and it ignites.
Sick.
Oh, cool.
I'll have to send y'all some of our links so y'all can
check it out. Sure.
But yeah, man, that scene was incredible.
Yeah. Like, you know, here I got something for you. Hold on.
God, what does he have?
You better not pull out one of the props, because I want one of those bottles.
He's got all kinds of shit in that.
Oh, you got fucking dick. Yeah, I want one of those, bro.
So yeah, so this is because of course, you know, we couldn't do Fago because Fago didn't want to have anything to do with it. It's actually kind of a funny story. We you know, and I get to talk to Bill Dale, you know, from Psychopathic, because we got, you know, licensed miracles and stuff. And when Bill and I spoke, I was like, well, you know, can you give me your connections with Fago? And he was like, Fago wants nothing to do with us. And I was just shocked, you know, because I was like, but you guys have to buy the most Fago of any one single like
best customer.
You have to be the best Fago's best customer. And he was like, there's no question we're their best customer. He's like, but they just don't want to do it. And I'm like, that's insane. So anyway, so we had to make our own, but I think it came out great, you know, because it actually is one of those fun things about movies that like getting to make your own props, like make it like even more fun, you know, because then you have these things. So it's a really cool one. And we have at least some labels left, so I might be able to send you a label or so.
Oh yeah, send me one.
Make your own Juggo.
Oh yeah, make your own Juggo punch.
Be cool.
That's awesome.
It's epic. Yeah, the whole Fago story is crazy, because they've been trying for years just to get endorsed, or to, you know, they don't even give them discounts.
Yeah.
And and the funny thing is, they buy the stuff they can't sell, like, because they don't buy the main flavors. They buy the diets, because the stuff it's less sticky.
Yeah, the diet root beer.
Yeah, they buy the stuff that nobody buys. So not only are they helping you get rid of inventory,
they're paying full fucking sticker price.
They're buying semi-loads, bro.
Yeah. And it is literally semi trucks. It's 48.
Yeah, literally. Like when they came, the last show I did with them was the Malenko, the reunion Malenko reunion tour in Cincinnati, and like it was crazy watching them bring these cases of Faygo off the bus. Like, you know, it was the Faygo Armageddon is crazy. Have you guys witnessed that in person?
I have. I went to the gathering. I went to the gathering in 2021, and that's where I got, you know, in off ramp. There's a lot of gathering B-roll footage, and that's also where I got to know a lot of juggalos and really got to like hear a lot of stories and really like, you know, I think it was like the last step in like really telling the story, because we had this script. We wanted to tell the story about juggalos, but I hadn't really like, you know, I was like, I'm going to be a poser if I'm going to try to make this movie without going to the gathering and getting to know these folks. And I was like, so I got to go. And yeah, and, you know, Mankini and Jimmy Soda convinced me to do the Faygo Armageddon and get up on stage and get, you know, baptized in soda pop. And I was baptized in Faygo, man. It's where I, you know, after that, I consider myself a juggalo. I feel like I was baptized. So
yeah, definitely. You have to, that kind of tied into one of my questions that I wanted to ask, but you didn't hit it all the way, so I could still ask it. What gave you the idea for that? What made you want to do this movie?
So, you know, I obviously I've been aware, you know, of juggalos for a long time. I mean, I bought, you know, the Chicken Huntin' maxi cassette single back when I was in like high school. And, you know, I remember I was kind of like, oh, this is kind of funny, you know, this Insane Clown Posse or whatever. And then, you know, I kind of went into more like indie rock and stuff like that. And then years later, you know, with like the Vice documentaries and all that kind of stuff, juggalos kind of like came back, you know, and we're kind of like, we were all seeing a lot of things about them. You know, there's a big kind of media attention to them. And at that time, a friend of mine showed me American Juggalo, the documentary. And American Juggalo was the first one. I know that other ones touch on this, but for me, it was the first piece of media that I saw that really touched on the Juggalo family love and the idea of, you know, when you're a Juggalo, your family and that sense of acceptance. And, you know, I really was unaware of that. And that one really showed me, and, you know, there's a couple of different instances where there's some people talking about somebody who's like so close to them that they're their family. And I was just really touched by that. I thought that's really amazing. And I thought these folks who are kind of looked at in this one way because of the tattoos or the music they listen to or the, you know, whatever they decide to wear, you know, have this certain perception. And yet these people are acting even more Christian than some Christians, you know, and that there's this idea of acceptance. And I just thought that was really beautiful. And I thought, what a interesting subject matter for a movie. So I was like, well, you know, to me, a road trip movie, I also love road trip movies and just thought it would be a couple of juggalos on their way to the gathering and getting into a whole bunch of wacky shit on the way, you know, seemed like a really cool, fun road trip movie to make and really an opportunity to talk about, you know, acceptance and how, you know, that we all, anybody who feels like, you know, even those movies about juggalos, this movie is really for anyone who has ever felt like an outsider. I think it's really more for anyone who has ever felt that inkling of like, maybe I don't fit in here, or maybe I don't fit in there. And, you know, and so that was something that I identified with. What I saw in the juggalos was, to me, I identified with that because while I didn't grow up a juggalo, I certainly grew up a nerd and into other things and like, you know, movie nerd or whatever, music. And so I felt like an outsider and I was like, well, this is something that, whatever. So that was really the inspiration. And then as we started writing and as we started going, it just all like continued to unfold and the layers in the onion kept going and going. And so we found all kinds of different like cool and interesting things to kind of talk about within that.
Yeah. Once again, you hit that one on the head. The whole family aspect of it. Like you just said, that's how I got into it. You know, I first heard the Malenko, and I got to know a lot of juggalos that were in my area and the sense of love, you know, and I really didn't get I didn't grasp everything until I went to the gathering my first time. And once you experience that, you really understand. Like, there's no place in the world that you can go and not have to worry about people talking about you, people trying to fight you, people judging you. I mean, it's just, you're free for 4 days. You're free to be yourself with no consequence, you know? And people don't understand that. They want to judge the book by its cover before they really dive into the culture and see what it's all about. You know, and I love how you guys kind of hit that with so many different parts of the movie, you know, like showing that not all juggalos are bad apples, you know?
Well, no, thank you.
I really like the whole concept of it, of how you made it a road trip movie about them trying to get to the gathering. Like, I feel like you guys did a good job with that, the whole concept of it.
Thank you. I know it's a thing that a lot of juggalos. Go ahead.
There's 100 different ways. Sorry. There's 100 different ways you guys could have done that, and I think you did a good job.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, you know, when I went to the gathering, I met a lot of juggalos who had taken long road trips to get there. You know, I mean, a lot of them had that. And it was like somebody was like, we drove from Seattle, Washington or Portland, Oregon. And they were like, we've just been driving for 3 days straight. And like, they just get there. And it was a very common thing.
So to speak on that, not this is back. Okay. They were in Legend Valley in Ohio for several years, and they left for 1 year and they went to Oklahoma, the worst gathering of all time. There was a juggalo who walked. He hitchhiked and walked from Washington State to Oklahoma. When he got there, his feet and shoes were so bad off. Somebody told Jay and a lot of the upper echelon, and they actually came out and hooked this dude up, like gave him a bunch of merch, shoes, like made sure he had food. They took care of him because this dude, like, for real, like, basically walked and hitchhiked his way all the way across country.
That's fucking crazy.
Like, that's dedication.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, that's, you know, I feel, you know, we wanted to tell a little bit about, you know, I mean, we can't tell every juggalo story, but we wanted to include as much, you know, little like tidbits and things as we could to hope that juggalos, you know, all kind of found something that they identified with.
Oh, yeah. You dropped a lot of Easter eggs, like we were talking about earlier. There's some Easter eggs that people are going to be like, "Holy shit!" Like, definitely.
Well, and there's lots of great gathering footage too. So you'll probably see one of your friends as well. And
I've seen a couple. Yeah,
and at the end, in the end credits, there's a few more. So it's pretty good. John, what did you to speak on it? What did you think whenever you first got you know, the paper across your desk to, you know, read a Juggalo movie?
I mean, I thought it was fucking fantastic. I mean, like you, we've talked about it. Just grew up just musically inclined and wanting to drop out, and, you know, dropped out of college to join a band. So I, you know, and listening to ICP, and, you know, growing up in middle school, high school, all that alternative shit. I listened to whatever pisses your parents off the most, right? Crank it up and just be a bad little boy. That was me. So yeah, these type of movies are right up my fucking alley, and you guys knew that. So I took the process pretty seriously. I had to have this role. It was just too perfect.
So you were already familiar beforehand.
I was familiar for sure, yeah. But then Nathan like sends me that documentary he's talking about, and just watching interviews. I watched a ton of interviews with real juggalos, and it's not how I thought they were when I got into it in middle school. Like gave me a totally different view. And then of course meeting the real ones along the way and getting to shoot with them. It's awesome. Unlocked a total just underappreciated, just something that was right there the whole time that I never knew made them so fucking cool. You know, you grow up like, it's pretty good music, but I don't get it. But now I feel like I kind of fucking get it, right?
No, that's right.
So it wasn't very difficult for you to get into that role.
I was a drummer before I was an actor, so I toured with a metal band for like 5 years. So me getting to be like back in a van, I was just like, oh yeah, let's fucking go. So love a good road trip. It brought me back. So no, it wasn't too far of a stretch for me.
No, but you know, but at the same time too, you know, you had to play the straight man too. You know what I mean? And like even though Trey has like some of my favorite like funny lines, like the interesting thing about this role is like Jon, as you'll know, and as you can already hear, he's a very funny guy, great sense of humor, whatever. But he's got to play, and sometimes it's harder to play the straight man, I think, and some because the straight man is like they don't get the big laughs, but they don't get the like the goofier laughs. They get the kind of like those ones that like really come through because of the seriousness.
Well, it's just right. I have to keep the scene going to kind of see what Silas is going to do. It's just like people want to see Silas at this point. It's just such a wacky character that becomes this hero that I didn't want to get in the way of that, right? Just like, be normal and don't steal the scene. Just let Scott be insane and fucking incredible.
I love both of you guys' part, but you were the one that stood out to me.
Oh, thanks.
And that's why I told him I wanted you on here, man, because like, both of the guys killed it, absolutely. But I don't know what it is. I related more to your character because I've been that guy. I'm the one that usually has the level head amongst my wild friends. They're always like, dude, don't get me in no shit. Like, calm down,
Yep.
So I definitely related to your struggles there.
Hell yeah.
And I was also telling Nate, the first scene when you popped up, one of my favorite TV show series of all time is Sons of Anarchy. When you popped up with the long hair, tattoos and stuff, I'm like, damn, this kind of looks like he should be in Sons.
I was fucking in Sons. That would have been great.
It was pretty cool.
Cool. That was a fun haircut, man. Right when I got that haircut in Nathan's backyard, 3 days before we started shooting, I was just like, oh yeah, now I'm fucking ready to go.
I remember
I already knew the lines and all that shit, but then we try on wardrobe and get the haircut. It's just that was it, man.
And that was your hair for real?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Why'd you cut it off, man?
For the movie, man. I didn't need that long ass hair anymore.
Jon had this long, and I remember it was one of those things. I was like, I was like, we could do a hair. He's like, I want a haircut. He was like, give me a haircut, please. He's like, that gets me so into character. I'm like, okay. Even though he had this like long fucking hair, he's like, no, I don't care what you do. He's like, you can do whatever you want. I'm like, okay, we can do an undercut. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, let's do the undercut.
Something major.
Well, no, and you're right too. I mean, I can understand too, because it really, especially I can imagine. And also Scott's not here, but to do Scott's hair, like he had to do the Coolio hair. And it was such a pain because like it took like 4 hours to do that. Right. And we shot 3 6-day weeks. So we had no time off to like take the hair out and put it back in. So poor Scott had to like keep that hair in for all fucking 18, 20 to 21 days of it. Oh. And it was just like, but the thing is that I think that is so true about it is like just getting like a dramatic haircut really can put somebody in so much into the part, and that was one of those things that with Jon was, we got, well, with Jon and Scott, both of them, when they got the haircuts, it was like, okay, it's all starting to kind of like come together now,
Yeah, when you look at the monitor, you're like, just visually, this looks so fucking crazy, but so right. That's great.
R.I.P. to Coolio. He was a true Juggalo icon, man.
He was, man. He was.
What was it? You know his infamous story. What is that?
Did he die?
Yeah, he died.
Yep.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Like this last year, wasn't it? Or 2 years ago?
Several years ago.
Yeah.
R.I.P. man.
Yeah, he was infamous in the Juggalo world because he got the Juggalo Hatchman tattoo with Juggalo, but he forgot he only put one G in it.
Juggalo.
So he was definitely like on the Juggalo infamous like memes.
There you go. He went to heaven or went to Shangri-La as a Juggalo.
You really have to touch somebody when this man was a platinum artist, made a lot of money off that song. And you touched this man so much, he went out and got, Juggalo tattooed on his arm, or he attempted to.
Mm-hmm.
And then accidentally got it misspelled. It's wild.
It's great, man. I think that's one of the things about, I think when people do get to see and understand a little bit about what a Juggalo culture really is, and just too that like there's you know, I think what's the one thing that's so cool is like this country is like there's so little community in this country. You know, there's just not this sense of like, you know, we used to have things that people, you know, people spend time around other people. There was something that would bring them together, music, movies, things. And especially since the pandemic, we're just like such individuals, and this country is so individualistic. And one thing I recognize when I went into a gathering, when I see Juggalos, is this desire for people to have community. They desire to be able to be around people that they share something with, you know. I mean, it can be whatever. It doesn't matter if it's Insane Clown Posse or if it's music, another band, or if it's, you know, movies, or if it's this or that. You know, it's just like we as humans like really do yearn for that kind of like, you know, meeting up and community and support of like community. And anyway, it's just it's something that I recognize that was really, I thought, really beautiful. And I think a lot of people do. I think, you know, the fact that Steve-O and Coolio and like many of these people who have kind of come through the Juggalo sphere and don't leave because they're like, you know, I mean, I remember, you know, like Tom Wood at the gathering, you know, I met Tom, and he just kind of like, of course, he kind of sticks out like a sore thumb because he's this like hilarious, like country, you know, like this handsome country dude who's like sitting there with this like flowing hair and whatever. And then he's like paints all these like really wicked looking clowns. And he's like, Tom Wood is the like main artist behind like all of like ICP's art and has been for like the last 20 something years. But basically this guy, like, he did this art and ICP found him and they linked up. And
you know how they found him, right?
I don't know. Tell me. Yes, please enlighten me, because I'm going to mess the story up.
So, okay. Back in the day, ICP had the only company that ICP had to deal with to carry their products was Hot Topic, which they lost at because of the gang thing. But Walmart started carrying these ICP shirts that had these crazy Joker's card designs, but they weren't official. Like ICP didn't know, like they weren't, it wasn't their material. So they had actually found their products in Walmart, and they went to Walmart and they're like, what's up? Like, this is not licensed by us. What's going on? And they actually found the artist and they went to him and they're like, hey, like, you're dope. Like, why don't you just come work for us and like cut the middleman out, you know? And that's basically kind of like the story in a nutshell. They found him on accident because he was kind of bootlegging.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, but you know, but what? How much more Juggalo can you get than to, you know, to find the bootlegger and then pull the bootlegger in and
exactly
and make it part of what you're doing, which I think is great.
He's absolutely amazing.
Oh, incredible! Well, that's what I mean too about Tom, was that you know, his story to me was that, you know, just that, again, that it was like as he came in here that he felt so accepted, and like now, you know, and now he has the float and he's like very, very involved, and he's you know, but he just, you know, he was, even to me, you know, he's like, I wouldn't have expected I'd end up in this thing, but it just like, this is how it worked, and these are lovely people, and he has a lot of fun, and yeah.
And speaking about the whole community thing that you brought up earlier, like there's a lot of hate, there's a lot of just nasty people everywhere you go, and to see someone like Coolio get a misspelled tattoo and people still to accept him like that is cool, because a lot of people are like, oh, you're a fake ass Juggalo this, or get the fuck on somewhere, and they accepted him anyways.
Yeah, they tried to call him a Juff and culture vulture and everything, you know. They didn't realize that this man was actually like for real down. He loved it.
Yeah.
And that's how people are, though. There's a lot of trolls and a lot of people that, you know, that's all they sit at home on the internet, and that's what they do. You know, they want to talk trash without knowing
keyboard gangsters, right? Somebody said that the other day.
Keyboard warriors, keyboard gangster.
Yeah.
A lot of that shit going around.
Yeah, I think that crosses all different demographics. I think they're all
everything. It's not just, you know, the Juggalo culture. It's the music culture and whole. comedy culture, movie culture, anything, man. There's haters everywhere.
Nothing like anonymity to really bring out the bullshit and the
nasty, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, the nastiness.
Doesn't matter.
The thing about the internet, the internet's beautiful, but it's also was one of the downfalls.
Yeah, I mean, look how cool it is. Here we are in 4 different places, and we're able.
Yeah, we couldn't do the Absolute Hysteria podcast video cast without the internet, man.
Which is awesome. I mean, but genuinely, like, how cool is this? But but yeah, I feel you. That's kind of one of the things that we're working on. Talking about the internet. The internet's a weird thing, man. It's weird.
Jason said that's how I wound up in Toledo. Came for the second gathering, felt accepted, never left.
Hell yeah.
Found his people.
That's right.
Easy to have a spine when you're invisible. Hey.
Exactly. Yeah, nothing like anonymity to bring out the spines, I suppose, but I don't know if it's really that right. It's exactly.
So, John, is there any crazy parts about filming that you can remember, like any stories, like funny stories or kind of memorable stories about filming that really stood out to you?
Man, we had some really, really fun days. One of my favorites was being in the car with Scott all day. We had Nate, probably 10 hours in the car driving, God knows, all over, having drone shots of the van. And we just had one PA in the back of the van with us the whole time. I guess we had Andrew, Mike, and us too. But it was so fun, man. We just had fake beers rolling around in the van all day, just fucking around. And, half was on camera, half wasn't. They just needed us whipping around. So it was just Scott and I getting to know each other for 10 hours, locked in this van. But, man, I felt like we got a good thing flowing after that. That was a pretty important day.
It was basically like it was towards the end of the first week, and basically, mostly, at the beginning, and then all throughout when they're driving, there's all the stuff where, like, we did all this stuff where we were driving, going car to car, right? Like, we're like cameras in one car, and they're driving in the other car in the van, and it was like it's like it doesn't end up as a ton of screen time, but it's like all stuff that's like really like kind of time consuming and technical because of the car and whatever. So basically, it was just like, we just drove, and you had to kind of go from one place to another. So we had to like spend 10 minutes to get from here to there, 20 minutes to get from here to there, because I was like landmarks I wanted to like shoot when they were driving through, the Superdome and some other fun things. And so they basically just spent the whole day in the van, and they were
pissing
just
in bottles and pissing in bushes when we had to stop and change batteries.
Smoking some
so much fake pot,
some Black and Milds and fake pot, and drinking lots of fake beers, which is
it was fun, man.
Yeah, but it was you guys had a lot of fun.
We got to see so much of that. We saw a bunch of New Orleans, but seeing all that cool, just outskirts that you would never see otherwise was beautiful. Some creepy, beautiful shit that we drove through. It was awesome.
Yeah. Swamp life, baby. Down in the swamps.
Yes, sir.
Overall, shoot-wise, though, it was so much fun. One of my best memories of it, looking back, is Ashley, who plays Eden. We had our hotel rooms right next door, so it was like every day we just became like, I don't know, set like husband and wife, like, all right, honey, wake up. It's like time to go. Meet me down in the lobby at like 5 a.m. in the morning, But she would read my lines for me on the way in the car, and we'd run lines. She'd be the other characters and do like, even if she wasn't shooting that day, I'd be like, run this scene for me. She'd do Silas's part. That was great. Fond memories of a lot of time in the car with her too, to and from set.
We were really lucky. We are a really tight knit, really fun group of people.
We became pretty close, man. It was great.
Also, we had some struggles too, and struggles always bring you together. You go through fire together, you get to learn, and you learn, who, how to, so we all got even closer and stuff. Yeah. So it was really, we're really, really lucky. Incredible group of people, no doubt.
All right, I'm gonna run my little halfway commercial real quick, guys, and we'll be right back.
Right.
Man, what the fuck is wrong with this TV?
I'm praying over and over again. Father, forgive me for all of my sins before this pain consumes my soul. This is not how my story ends. I've been begging and begging you, please take this pain away from me. Grant my heart eternal peace and watch my enemies bleed. I'm praying over and over again. Father, forgive me for all of my sins before this pain consumes my soul. This is not how my story ends. I've been begging and begging you, please take this pain away from me. Grant my heart eternal peace and watch my enemies bleed.
Yes, sir. That was new album. Will be dropping late this summer from myself. Make sure y'all stay tuned for that. That was the single Forgiveness. I got another 2 singles that will be dropping in the next month. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that.
That was nasty.
Yeah, it sounded good.
that was my single called Forgiveness. It's a little different, man. My new album is I'm proving a point. I want to show people that you can't box me in, because like I've been doing horrorcore and like, you know, the Juggalo related music for so long that people started boxing me into a category. So this album, I'm going to show people that I'm not just that, you know. I got so many different styles of music in this album. Like, you know, I'm touching a little bit of the seriousness, the heartbreak stuff, the mental health stuff, I'm trying to do some rockish, rapish stuff because I'm a big, you know, metal. I love metal and stuff as well.
Sure.
So,
you know, hey, if you want to talk about being typecast, John can talk about being typecast. His 2 starring roles in feature films have both been characters who just get out of jail.
Yeah.
I get that all, you know, I get that all the time as well, you know.
I'm sure, yeah. Because we look cool, man.
Yeah.
We fit in with all my buds in jail.
I can't take my hat off right now because I haven't shaved and I don't, my head's fucked up, but I normally stay like skin bald, like, you know, Mr. Clean type stuff. So every time I'm walking through, yeah, like Nate, every time I'm walking through Walmart, you know, tattooed out, bald headed, big, I'm 6'4", 400 plus pounds. Like, I'm a big dude. They call me a gorilla for a reason. And people always assume I'm a biker. Like, hey man, what kind of bike you ride?
You make a great biker in a movie, that's for sure.
Yep.
Talking and laughing, like I'm very intimidating until I start talking and laughing.
Those are way cooler
You
than
got a sense of humor.
But you know, that's like kind of the essence of Juggalos, and that's like the essence of like the movie too. Is like, you know, when Tim and I first started writing this movie, I think we kind of had more of that. Our perspective was a little bit more of a like, it was more comedy, and it was more like, you know, probably what, you know, like looking almost like laughing at instead of laughing with. And, you know, as we kind of kept like learning about Juggalos, and like we were like, this is not right, you know. It was like we really want to be something that's like that Juggalos can feel proud of. And like, sure, there's going to be still jokes and like there's still funny things, and like everyone can, you know, and Juggalos have a good sense of humor about themselves, like a great sense of humor about themselves. They can laugh about it a lot. But we really found it really important, you know, because it is always about that, you know. People, it's like it's natural to sort of have a little bit of like prejudice, you know. You look at someone and you can't, it's human to think a certain thing about someone. It's just human to think and to feel this like, oh, someone's an other and therefore maybe scary. And but it's
natural.
It's natural to feel that.
But I try not to, but sometimes it happens.
We all, it's so natural to do it. Even the most liberal-minded people still have some sort of reaction. And I think that's not what's important. What's important is getting past that and staying true to, like, you know, giving that person a chance. And, you know, and I think that's the thing about our film is that, like, when people give the film a chance, they first, you know, they see things, they see it's the Juggalo movie. They know that it's going to, you know, have, you know, violence and cursing and these kind of things. And they kind of think it's one thing, but, you know, Show Me Your Butthole, which we do have Show Me Your Butthole in the movie. Yes, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, Show Me Your Butthole. And it's hilarious and it's awesome. But at the same time, there's going to be like some like actual, emotion and some other things, and you might learn a little bit about something about yourself, hopefully, if we did a good job. And
we were sitting there watching it earlier. Like it's my second time today watching it. It was his first. I showed it to him so he wouldn't kind of be behind and be off when we were talking about. So like at one point I looked at him and like he was just like and like I was like, man, he was like, man, that was deep. Like, yeah, man, I'm telling you, dude, it hit the first time I watched it. I'm over there like, man, come on, man.
Yeah, no, look, I tell you this, I cry every single time I watch the movie. I can't. I mean, it's my movie, whatever.
That bedroom scene, bro.
Yeah,
Yep.
The bedroom scene, that bedroom day was special, but
we had
the first read through, first time you read the script through, like, yeah, this guy's kind of a goofball, and then by the second or third time through, it is sad and serious, and these guys see and deal with major shit over the span of a few days, and they just handle it as well as they're equipped to handle it, which is not very well, but they fucking roll with it,
Well, that's what I was telling him. Like it was like my emotions going into the movie. Okay, you start off, it starts off good. You get your laughs in there. You get to know the characters. You get to see what the characters are about, but there's still questions. Like, what is Trey all about? Like, why is he like this? What'd he do? Why was he in jail? All that stuff, And then you're wondering what happened with the other characters and why things were this. So you're cruising the movie, and then you get to that scene, and it's like somebody just grabbed you by the heart and just fucking squeezed, like because everything just makes sense. Like all the good stuff comes out.
Yeah, all the questions that you had kind of get answered. I like to tell people too, like I feel like that is like, because the movie Off Ramp is like, again, you take an off ramp when you're getting off of something, right? And they get off something.
I live right off the interstate, so I know all about them off ramp.
You know all about it, and you take the off ramp and whatever, and the movie sort of takes its off ramp at the midpoint. You're in the bedroom, and it sort of takes this off ramp, and things from that moment on are just different, and you're kind of like, John, we're keeping some spoilers, by the way, as we're talking around certain things.
I know.
You figured it out. But that midpoint, it just like really shifts, and I think that's when the characters really become really human, and I think, and I feel really pleased with that, and again, credit to those three, because John, Ashley, and Scott, because the words were there on paper, but it was still like all of us kind of working together and rehearsing it and kind of coming up with it. And we all knew that scene was really important, and we all knew like the like kind of like, oh, this is like our chance to really do something really cool. And everyone did. Everybody brought it, and just like, I mean, it's great. It's awesome. One of my favorites.
With how many different subjects were thrown together in that short period, it didn't feel forced. It felt genuine, and it was smooth. And it's definitely my favorite scene.
Thank you very much.
I spoke about that earlier. I like how y'all touched like all the major things that people have going on, like mental PTSD and stuff. You touched all those subjects, like boom, 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 boom.
Thank you.
And it makes you feel for them people, like the characters, because man, that's a hell of a life.
Yeah,
shit to go through.
Well, I mean, these are, characters in movies are always going to be extreme versions of real people, right? That's why we like watching them, But I mean, I when I went to the gathering in 21, I mean, I met a lot of folks who had similar experiences. I mean, obviously, it wasn't exactly that, but there was a lot of similarities. This won't give out too much of, but I didn't meet anybody, any woman whose a younger or older brother drank her breast milk. Let's just put it that way. I didn't meet anybody that actually happened to, but it was like
your twisted brain.
That came from my twisted brain, but the idea of someone being like controlling, like his brother, being controlling over his little sister, like that was real. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so to me, and to us, like just telling stories that like have some emotional, real resonance, and you make a kind of extreme version of it to tell the story. But you want to kind of like keep a little bit of it. That grounding really makes it like I think affect people.
Dustin, I'm gonna ask Nathan that question for you. I'm gonna let him explain it because he can explain it better than I can. Dustin wants to know basically like how he can watch it. Can you tell him like the status currently?
Absolutely, please and thank you. This is a great time to talk about this. So we have a distribution deal for United States distribution with a company called Freestyle Digital Media, and on September 6th this year, it will be on streaming on basically all of your like premium VOD sites, whether it's iTunes, Amazon, Roku channel, like places where you can buy and rent movies of any basic type. It will be there. That will happen September 6th. In addition, it will be in some theaters, very small theaters. Hopefully, we're hoping to get at least 5 cities. They'll be small, it'll be whatever, but look for it if you are in one of those cities. LA, New York, Chicago, maybe Detroit, maybe New Orleans. I don't know. We might be playing in Kansas City. We talked to the guys at Panic Fest. So, any of those places there will be. And the way you can find out is you can go to our website, www.offrampfilm, www.offrampfilm.com, and sign up for our mailing list there. Also, you can follow our Instagram at Off-Ramp Film Instagram. Myself, I'm also Damn Nathan, DAM Nathan on Instagram. And then if you're in one of the lucky folks who, a couple other small things in June 24th, we will be a part of the Chattanooga Film Festival. It'll be online. Basically, it'll be a virtual screening in Chattanooga. So if you buy tickets for it, you can watch it a little early in June. Then if you're in London on August 11th, we're gonna play at a film festival in London on August 11th, and we might be screening August 13th at in Minnesota. Sorry, this is going on a long time. And then there's a good chance that I will be at the Gathering for at least the last 2 days.
Yes,
you beat me to it because I was going to ask
Holy
you.
shit.
I was going to ask you because I was thinking of this myself, dude. That would be the most epic release you could do.
Screening, right? That's what I kept saying, man.
Unfortunately, we can't. Here's the thing: we can't show it and give it away at this year's Gathering because the movie comes out right after the Gathering.
Could you sell like a private screening, sell tickets?
We could, but I don't want to try to get people away from the Gathering. So we'll think about it. We're going to keep our options open. If anybody has any great ideas, I'd love to listen to them. But my plan is to just come and be a presence, hand out stickers, shake hands. Maybe if we get a chance, we'll show a trailer or maybe get a specific scene or something like that.
Come check out our set.
Come check it out. And then next year, our hope is that next year for the 25th Gathering, which will be a huge one for everyone.
Oh man, it's gonna be.
And the film will have been out for a year there then. So we're hoping to be there to have like a merch table, and hopefully a lot of the stars will come and we'll be able to like kind of have a big family reunion at the Gathering next year, which is our real hope. So but this year I'm going to do my best to at least just be myself, be there. So if you're watching and you see me, I'm there at the Gathering, come say whoop whoop and ask me a question or whatever or something. I don't know. High five.
We're shooting. We've been offered the side stage this year. We're shooting for the main stage next year.
Cool.
For the 25th. If we get that, I'm gonna need John. I'm gonna need you on stage with me, man. I'm gonna need you up there getting hype.
100% I will be there with you, bro. I would love to do that.
We'll get Scott out there and he'll put the silence.
Yeah, dude, could you imagine? Because by that time, people's already going to have seen the movie. So you
come
got
out with his cocaine chicken. Yeah.
Well, that's our hope. That's our hope, is that we think next year. We think next year is the year to kind of like come and try to, just because it's still this year. It's like we're still like 3 weeks before the movie's out, and so we've only got a handful of folks who've been able to see it because it's mostly played at film festivals and things like that. But we'll like I said, we're still figuring out. We do There will be a physical media component. There will be DVDs. There will be some T-shirts. There will be some posters and stuff like that. So,
I definitely, when you do that, I need to buy. I'm definitely buying a copy for real.
Hell yeah, please and thank you. We
I
would
will
love that.
Question. No, I forgot.
It's all right.
I'll come back to that one.
All good, my friend.
But yeah, the gathering would be totally like, I was thinking about that earlier because everybody's like, I've had people blowing me up like, oh, when can we watch it? When's it come out? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, I'm going to ask him for sure on the podcast. But, I was like, maybe the gathering shit would work out.
September 6th. Please check it out. September 6th. Buy, rent, it would be really helpful. We're independent filmmakers. There's no studio. It's like we have such a huge mountain to climb before any of us make any money off of this thing. And we just want to, it's a labor of love. It's my own money, my family's money that we put into making this thing because we believed in the story and because we wanted to tell something special. But it's independent stuff, just like what, ICP and what a lot of, underground musicians out there do. It's something that's coming from the heart, and it's something we're doing. It's like I said, there's no big company, you know what I mean? It's just us. So it's kind of one, it's that same spirit of do it yourself underground filmmaking, which is, again, that's what everything is. It's underground music. So it's like I said, there's no big company, you know what I mean? It's us.
If you guys want,
sorry, go ahead.
If you guys want to, before it comes out, you can send me some promo videos and I'll throw it up on my Instagram page for you before it drops. Help push it up.
Hell yes, we would love that. Thank you very much. Do you follow me on Instagram now?
No, but I got your name right now.
Please do. I will follow back and we'll be in touch. Yes, please and thank you. We need, we don't have like all these, big marketing teams and all the stuff that these major movies have, you know what I mean? And like, and look, the Juggalo community has been so fucking awesome. And like, we just, all these folks have, just reached out, I mean, I didn't know Eric before, but Eric reached out and we're talking, and you know what I mean? And that's what's so cool about this thing. And I think especially when
Juggalo, humble,
you saw it on Humble, and but it's just like, it's been so cool because the Juggalo community has been so supportive. And I think too, when they see the film and like, they go, oh, they see what we're trying to do, which is that we are genuinely trying to like say something good, and like, we did whatever, but we're at least trying really hard to be, to do right by y'all folks. And so I think everybody sees that and they say, yeah, and they want to support. And so it's been really cool. All the Juggalo community has been really helpful, and all this viral marketing is like stuff that's just so invaluable to this independent filmmaking,
Maybe in October, after it's been out for like a month, if I can get you guys to come back, I'd like to talk to you guys again, so we don't have to dance around shit. We can actually dive into, because I got a lot of questions and a lot of.
No, we know, and it's great because I think this is perfect in two ways, because like this is kind of our like hype version, and when the movie, I mean, we can even do it, when the movie is just out, you know what I mean? Like it could be, mid-September, late September, whatever. Just as long as there's an opportunity for people to see it, because the movie is like surprising, I think. And like, I think y'all can attest to it that like, it's like, it is best to like experience it, like being surprised by the things that happen. And like, we want everyone to have that kind of similar journey, because again, that's like what I experienced, like getting to know Juggalos, is that I saw, I thought of it this one way, and then I get to know these folks, and this is the way it really, and that's what the movie does, is you want to kind of like start out kind of like, okay, and then as you get into it, you start to, you go on the journey. But then, yeah, we'd love to do it again, and we can get more cast on. They all, we have such a great cast, and they all love being involved. Yeah, it'd be fun. It's all fun. We had one we did for Chattanooga, and we had like a little family reunion. It was so much fun.
It'd be a tragedy not to ask this question, and inquiring minds want to know. Number 2?
Maybe so. We
see how this one goes.
Yeah.
We should use that track we played, man. We should use some of your music for it.
I wasn't going to mention that to Nathan or nothing.
That shit was great.
You needed some cameos, or
Well, I mean, the thing is I think look, we would let's see how this one goes. You know what I mean? I got other.
I think there's another story you could tell, bro. Like, I think Kid was talking about, he would have liked. He's like, I would have liked to see more of the actual gathering. Like once they got there, like all the bullshit that goes, all the crazy shit that happens at the gathering, like kind of have them. It'd be. I don't know. It'd be a challenge to film it because you'd have to like put like a small gathering together, I guess.
Right.
It would be, but hey, look, this one was done. Like I said, this is done on like a shoestring budget of like, whatever we had that we could put together.
It worked though.
No, thank you. But, I'm with you that like, if we did have a little, a bit more budget, yeah, we would love to do a gathering. I mean, I would love to do like immediately. Like I would love to do if it was
picks up right where we left off.
Literally the moment that it leaves off.
We hit the stage for a fucking opening credits performance.
Yeah, and then be like, basically just tell a story over the 4 days of the gathering. Maybe something like that. Maybe an epilogue kind of thing. But that would be pretty.
Have old Scarecrow try to show up and try to get in or whatever.
Oh my god!
I think we'd have to move on to a different bad guy, but that's okay.
There's a lot of stuff you could do there too.
Yeah, no, I think it would be
there's other events that have happened at gatherings where there have been some bad guys.
Sure.
So there's always the potential to bring in some new villains.
Yeah, there's always good. There's always something. I mean, there's always some. And hey, I mean, like you said, cameos and, whomever and, who knows. But hopefully by that time, a few more folks know about our film and want to help support it or want to be a part of if there's a second one. And I mean, I'd love to bring Trey and Silas back. They're two incredible, and Eden, they're incredible characters. And I love them very much. It's one of those funny things, you spend so long with like characters and you get to know them so well, and then and they only kind of exist in this like one like chunk of a thing. It's kind of weird, but yeah, I love those characters.
So I don't want you to feel like I'm taking anything away from the movie. I understand the whole budget and everything because the movie was great. I was just at the end, I was like, I got to see more. Like I got to see what happens, once they reach the.
Yeah, no, I take no offense. Trust me, I wish we were able to do it. I would have been
me first reading the script too. It's like, yes, I'm gonna get on the stage and finally like rap in a movie, and I'm like, shit, it cuts right before that, but that's all right. Easier to film that way. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
making movies is fucking hard, man.
It is, and I like to look at it like this. One of the things that to me, when I went to the gathering, the moments, yes, it's awesome on stage. Yes, all the stuff, all the shows. But to me, what was like really like the real moments of the gathering that were really important to me were like those times where people are sitting in between the RVs and just like getting to know each other, and just like the moments in between the moments. And like, to me, that was kind of like what I would kind of wanted to like show. And to me, that was more of like the kind of end of these characters' story. But I also totally agree with you, Kid, that like it would be amazing to be able to do that other version and to like really get into it. And I'm telling you, I mean, maybe that would be Off Ramp 2 is just like I said, like literally the moment after this, like, start with that. And then it's like Trey and Silas and Eden trying to navigate the gathering for like,
it's so good.
The 3 or 4 days, which, like you said, would be its own like wacky adventure because we all know if anybody have been to a gathering or at least seen the documentaries or anything, it is a wacky adventure.
There's a lot going on, and that is for sure.
Tell them no more. They must see it for themselves.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't wait for you guys to release it. We'll definitely be pushing it. And,
thank you very much.
We'd love to come back. That'd be fun.
Yeah, we will definitely be back. There's no question about that. We'll bring some more folks with us for sure. And we'll be able to talk about a whole lot more, and it'll be great. Johnny, I know before he goes too, I know Johnny is really excited that Kid's wearing a Kansas City Chiefs shirt.
I was going to bring that up. I was actually going to bring that up.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I'm actually in between Columbia, Missouri and Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm
And
a
we-
northern.
You're
I'm
the
a
real
northern
deal.
Kentucky
I was
boy
born in
from a
KC. Look at this shit.
Hell yeah.
Johnny,
Let's go.
you might not like me as much after this, but yeah, we'll see you in the Super Bowl next year, buddy.
Oh, you're a poor Bengals fan. I liked you guys till you started talking too much shit, and then we had to stomp you.
We've,
Hey,
uh,
give my boy credit though.
Oh,
Mahomes said the only quarterback that he fears is Joe Burrow.
no, I love watching the Bengals play. I reserve all my hate for the fucking Raiders. Fuck the Raiders.
That's how I am. I reserve all my hate for the Steelers.
Yeah. Well, everyone hates the Steelers. That's out of Pittsburgh.
we've actually been having quite a few shows down around your area more lately. And if you're ever free, and we'll get you at a show and get to hang out and everything.
My God, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, my whole camp's down there, man. My rap partner in my group, that's where he's from, is Kansas
It's
City.
KC.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Johnny's located
I'm in Austin now, yeah, but I was born in KC and grew up in Wichita. But we were just back in KC 2 months ago for
My
that's
my
it.
partner's got a show with Shaggy in Wichita next weekend.
Oh hell yeah, that's awesome.
Good old Kansas folks, man. I love it there. It's the greatest.
Yeah, we had a great time at Panic Fest. Great one. I highly recommend.
Well, go Chiefs. We're gonna run it back.
Yes,
Sorry,
sir.
Bengals.
I hope so.
Right.
Are you a wrestling fan by chance? Anyone of you two?
I mean, there were times. I mean, I definitely when I was real young, when it was like, Hulk Hogan and Iron Sheik and Junkyard Dog, I was definitely into it as a kid. And then I think when there was the first WW, when WWE with NWO and stuff like that, I was kind of into it then. But those 2 times, but I other than that, I wouldn't say. I mean, I appreciate it. I love the pageantry. I think it's I think it's cool. I love the crossover. I guess one of the things I love so much too about Juggalo culture is how that wrestling culture really melds right into it. Because I know ICP started out wrestling and that was kind of the first thing. But I think that's just another reason that is just another thing that just makes Juggalo culture so unique. Is just kind of that incorporation of that as well. So I appreciate it. I think it's crazy what they managed to do.
Yeah, I'm a big wrestling mark. A few weeks ago, they were in Kansas City, and Logan Paul had Patrick Mahomes and
I saw Mahomes was there. Kelsey too, right?
No, Kelsey was at WrestleMania.
Oh, okay.
Mahomes and 2 of his linemen were there, two big boys, and they were sitting right by the announcers. And Logan Paul came down and was messing with him. He's like, "Hey," he's like, "Show me that hand." And he lifted up his hand, and Mahomes had all of his rings on, the Super Bowl rings, and he gave him to Logan Paul, and Logan Paul took him in the ring, and they did this little segment where he punched one of the Judgment Day members in the forehead with the rings, and he accidentally hit him a little too hard. And there's pictures. He has the imprint of the Super Bowl ring.
No fucking way.
Classic.
Oh my God. I would be honored to be punched in the face by that ring.
Yeah, but not by Logan Paul.
Maybe
it was Patrick.
He was supposed to pull his punch, but I think he accidentally let a little bit of it go.
Yep.
Yeah, left that fucking mark.
Yeah, it's fun though, man. I mean, I just
fun.
It's cool, I think it's great. I think it's awesome that they have that going on together.
All right, guys. Well, stick around when I'm gonna play the outro. Stick around because once it goes off, y'all can still be on there for a minute.
Okay.
So I'm gonna play the outro. I'm gonna do my little spiel and play the outro. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for tuning in this week with Mr. Nathan Tate, Mr. Jon Oswald, my co-host, my guy Kid Jewel. Kincaid wasn't with us this weekend, or he wasn't with us this week. I didn't want it to be weird on him because he hasn't seen the film, and I didn't want him to feel awkward by just kind of sitting there, like looking, not knowing what was going on. So Ken Kane will be back with us the next episode. Make sure y'all tune in every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And with that, we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.
Come back and join us next week on Absolute Hysteria. Follow Easy 606 on YouTube and all social media.
All right.